are getting it together today. We've been up for hours, but sometimes, you know, when you have too much time, you just mess around. So here we are. We have got a 5-minute warm-up, as usual. Today we've got a PVC pipe or a broomstick to use for that warm-up. We're going 60 seconds of each movement. So let me get my timer started. All right, so grab that bar, and we're gonna place it across the top of your shoulders to start. There we go. Hello. Thanks, my lovely assistant. Appreciate it. All right, so we've got that bar right across the top of your shoulders. Feet are about a hip distance apart, and we're just gonna start with some rotation. So feeling that twist, go all the way down to the tips of your toes. Just really kind of pausing in that twist, really getting that spiral of the spine, kind of waking up the body. I'm a little nervous about today. It's a lot of jumping. It's going to be quite the intense workout, but it's 45 seconds of work. So 45 seconds of work, 15-second transition time. We've got 5 movements, 4 rounds. We can do it. Might complain, might whine. Definitely going to breathe heavy, but we're going to make it. All right, we got 5 seconds here. And then as we come back to center, we're just gonna pause, bring your hands a little further in, and now we're just pressing up overhead and back down. Warming up those shoulders. Of course, we've got some push-ups today. Enjoying that. Ran out of things to say. 60 seconds is a long time when you're not counting. Find a way to fill the space. All right, we got 15 seconds. I wish I had some good stories for you, but I really don't. I did have a raccoon in my pool last week. It's my best story. It's the most exciting thing that's happened in a while. All right, so from there, let's press that bar up over your head. Reach those knuckles towards the ceiling, and we're going to take it into overhead squats. Now, we have not confirmed that it was a raccoon, but according to all Google investigating, all things point to a raccoon that went swimming in my pool. Because that's what we do now. Mysteries of the backyard. We've got 30 seconds left here. Reaching up through those knuckles. Make sure as you're going into those squats, you're pressing those knees wide. Your feet are wide enough that your heels can stay heavy as we take it down into that squat. We got 10 seconds left here. 2. All right, and then from there, let's place that bar across the shoulders. Arms extend out again. Feet about a hip distance apart, and we're just going into our good mornings. So just hinging and coming up. If you're tightening the hamstrings, you can allow those legs to soften just a little bit as you go into that forward fold. We've got about 20 seconds left here. Good. Last 10 seconds. All right. And then our last movement in the warm-up today is just going to be a little up and over. So we're going to start with that bar right at the thighs. So you want to hold as narrow as you can while keeping the arms straight and bringing those arms up and over. So everybody's going to be in a little different position, but the goal is to find that spot where it's maybe a little challenging, but you're getting that big stretch in the shoulders, that mobility of the upper back. We've got 30 seconds left here. The nice thing is, today's workout, it's 20 minutes. So we can do 20 minutes of anything, no matter how sweaty or jumpy it is. Good. Well, last 5 seconds here. All right. So let's place that bar off to the side. And we'll start breaking down today's movement. So, number 1 is going to be a squat jump. So your squat jumps, I like to take my arms forward as I come down into that squat, and then they kind of press back as I jump. Just kind of helps give you a little rhythm, keeps things moving. Of course, if jumping is not an option for you, just keep it in a regular squat. So in either position, we want to make sure that those heels stay flat as you take it down to that squat position. So make sure that your stance is wide enough and that chest stays lifted. So that's going to be number 1. Number 2 is going to be push up to shoulder tap. So finding that plank position, feet are about a hip distance apart. You're going to push up as you rise, tap one shoulder. So we're doing 1 tap per push up. Your option here is going to be taking it down to the knees. If you go onto those knees, make sure that those hips are dropped and open. We don't want to have your butt up in the air when you push. We want to make sure that we find that planking position from the knees up through the shoulders. Same thing, lower the chest to the ground, shoulder tap, alternating sides each time. Then we've got our old friend, the burpee. So, on our basic burpee, our regular burpee, we're gonna take the hands to the ground, hop back, lower the chest to the ground, hop back up, and jump. So that is gonna be your basic burpee. If it's too much, if you don't wanna jump, if you live upstairs and you don't wanna have your neighbors hate you, take it into kind of a step back burpee. So you still take the hands to the ground, you step back, lower, step up, and then just come into that position. So just coming into that high squat. Again, as you step up, make sure that those heels are anchored down. You really sit back into those heels and get tall. Hands back to the ground, step back, lower, up, step up and lift. So that's your burpee alternative. Our next one is going to be your pulsing jump lunge. So find that lunge position. Hips are squared up. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, you switch. 1, 2, 3, switch. Again, you can go just a basic lunge. 1, 2, 3, step up. 1, 2, 3, step up, alternating sides. And then our last one is going to be a V-up. So on your back, legs straight, arms overhead. As you come up, I like to tuck my knees into my chest. It keeps me out of my hip flexors. If I try to stay with straight legs, sometimes those hip flexors will just fire up. And with all this jumping and squatting, they're gonna be pretty lit up here. So again, if that is not an option to come all the way up, just work on coming into a crunch, finding that abdominal work. You can also float your feet off the ground and go here as an alternative. So find what works for your body. There's no wrong way. It's basically, do what you can do, where you can sustain for 45 seconds. It should be challenging, but you shouldn't feel defeated. I don't want you to get 10 seconds in and you're just on the floor and you can't finish it. So find what is going to make you feel successful, something that you can do for 45 seconds. Nobody's watching but you. So, you're the only one you need to impress today. All right, so number 1, squat jumps. Are we ready? I don't know, but we're doing it. So let's go in 3, 2, 1, 45 seconds. Take it down, hop it up. I like to count my reps on that first round just so it gives me a goal, something that I can focus on sustaining for these 4 rounds. But then I talk and I lose count. I think it's about 15. 15 seconds left here. Keep moving, guys. Whew, those legs are burning. We got 5. And rest. Whew. It's a fiery start. Let's take it to the ground for those push-ups. Shoulder tap. We've got 5 seconds here. It's a good chance. Go ahead and pop it up. Just slow down just a little bit. We don't want to compromise form for speed. Good job, guys. We got about 15 seconds. I usually struggle in that first round, just getting my body ready. All right, let's rest. All right, as we come up, our next one is going to be burpees. So remember, you have that step back burpee as an option. Ready and go. Beautiful job, guys. Hang in there. We've got 15 seconds left here. And rest. All right. Our next move is going to be those pulsing jumping lunges. And again, you don't have to jump. You can do that step back lunge. Ready? And go. We're going 1, 2, and switch. Use that pulse as an opportunity to just kind of check in with the body. Make sure your hips are squared, you're anchored through that front heel, and then you're powering through the back of the legs as you hold. So it's just a good chance to make sure that you're not driving that knee forward, you're not in the toes too much on that front leg. We've got 5 seconds. And rest. All right, our last one is going to be your V-ups. So remember your alternatives here. You can do just crunches. All right, arms overhead. Load it up. Good job, guys. 15 seconds here. And we've got 5, 2, 1, and rest. Whew. All right, just like that, round 1 is over. We've got 3 more rounds left. All right, back to those squats. You can go regular squats, you can go jump squats, you can have a combination of both. So remember, if you're just going into those squats, make sure those heels stay heavy. You're driving those heels into the ground as you rise up, and really making sure that you open up those hips and you squeeze your butt. Too many times I see people kind of squat here and they never get that glute activation. You want to really make sure you rise up, squeeze squeeze those glutes, open up those hips. We've got 15 seconds. So when you're jumping, you have a little more opportunity to get that butt squeeze and rest. All right, taking it back to the ground. We're going into our push up to shoulder tap. I forgot to start my watch. We should start all over. All right, ready? And go. So remember here, kneeling is an option. Bringing the chest to the ground, up, shoulder tap. Up, shoulder tap. Now the goal here is to try not to shift from side to side too much as you work. There's going to be a little bit of movement, but really make that your focus. How do you stabilize while bringing one hand up? So there's this constant little micro adjustments. All right, and rest. And that's with everything. So, it's never a static position. It's always finding what adjustments you need to make it feel centered, grounded. All right, ready? Burpees, go. So remember your alternative, hands to the ground, step back, lower, lift, step up, and come here. Getting those heels to the ground, getting that chest up. Nice wide stance, hips drop. And I'm going to take it back. We got just a few more seconds left here. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, our next set is going to be those pulsing jumping lunges, or just your pulsing step back lunges. Ready, and go. So the step back is just going to be 1, 2, step forward. 1, 2, step forward. Making sure that front heel stays heavy, upper body stays upright. Or going back to those jumps. 1, 2, switch. 1, 2, switch. Switch. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Taking it back to the ground for those V-ups. We've got 7 seconds. They got dog zoomies in the background. All right, let's take it down. So here's your alternative. Arms overhead. Just crunch. Lifting the head, neck, and shoulders off of the table, off of the mat. You can bring those legs into a little tabletop position. Or you can go straight legs, lift. We've got 10 seconds left here. And come on up. Just like that, we're halfway through. We've got 10 seconds before we start round 3. All right, ready, and go. Jump squats. Fall back into those heels as you come down. Keep that chest upright so that butt goes back. Don't even think about your knees bending. It's about sitting back into those hips. The knees will follow that hip crease. Find a rhythm, find a pace. Whew. Shake it out if you need to. We got 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, our next one, push-ups to shoulder taps. 3, 2, 1, and go. Again, find that setup. Nice control. Lower lift and tap. Fifteen seconds. Whew. 3, 2, 1. Come on up. Whew. All right, guys. Our next one is going to be those pulsing jumping lunges. How we feeling here? All right, taking it in. You're going that 1, 2, hop. 1, 2, hop. Really focus on that pulse, finding the back of that thigh, that hamstring glute connection. We got 15 seconds. Those legs start burning out. Take it back to just those step back pulse lunges. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Back to those V-ups. We've got 5 seconds. Oh, we did! Oh man, I totally skipped burpees. All right, we're going back to it. Let's do our V-ups. We'll go back to burpees. You guys can all send Brooke a love note for that one. I was gonna skate right by and then just go, why do we have an extra minute? I don't even know what's happening.
That's what I was helping you with.
That is Brooke at TriCoreFit.com. I might even send her a love note. 3, 2, 1, come on up. Whew. All right, so we're a little out of order. Going back to burpees. All right, we got 3 seconds. Are we ready? 45 seconds of burpees. Go. Remember, you got that step back option. We got 5 seconds left. And rest. All right. And now we're down to our last round. All right, we got squats or squat jumps in 3, 2, 1. Take it down and lift. We'll throw some jumps in a second. Heart rate is real high. Give my body a second. Only because I need to talk to you. Otherwise, I'd push through it. 15. 15 seconds. All right, this is your last set. You don't have to do these again today. Whew. 5 seconds. And rest. Little sweat in the eyeball. All right, 3 seconds. Back to those push up to shoulder taps. Again, remember you can take it to the knees, let those knees open, lower lift, and tap. We got 15 seconds, guys. Almost done. Three, 2, 1. 15 seconds to those burpees. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Last round here. Are you keeping up with your reps from that first round? Second round. Are you trying to stay, a couple of reps from it? Whew. 15 seconds left here. Three, 2, 1. Right, we got 3 seconds. Back to those pulsing lunges. Remember, you can step back. 1, 2, step up. Or you can take it into that full hop. Again, use that pulse as an opportunity to find that stability. If you start feeling like your form is being compromised, don't be afraid to take it back to those step back lunges. As we get tired, we get sloppy, that's where we get injured. 3, 2, 1, and rest. It's never worth it to push through that point. You can always work out more if you get injured. If you get injured, you'll be down for a long time. All right, let's finish up with those knee ups. Let's finish strong, guys. Ten seconds. 3, 2, and done. Whew. Good job, guys. That was a good one. Got a little sweaty today, got my heart rate up. So now we're gonna take it into our Pilates work. So this is where you have the option of taking those shoes off. I'm going to grab a sip of water. We're gonna take a moment and really let our heart rates come down and focus on our breath to start. Really making sure that you always give yourself that opportunity to cool down, stretch, and let your body recover. Actually, it's gonna make you more powerful in the long run. If you just constantly work in that power phase and you never give your body the opportunity to recover and stretch, you actually start decreasing your power output over time. So if you really wanna stay powerful and keep your movements strong and efficient, do some mobility work. I'm biased to Pilates, but any kind of mobility work is good. All right. So let's start by just finding a comfortable seated position. So you can sit with your legs crossed. You can find a little butterfly position. If you want to bring something and prop your hips up a little bit, we're going to sit here for a couple minutes. Just give yourself a little space and a place that you can just kind of get comfortable and focus on your breath. So just sit up nice and tall. Find that anchoring down through the sit bones, that lift of your rib cage up and away from your hips, that lift through the chest, and that length through the back of the neck and through the crown of the head. And let's just take a couple deep breaths here. So breathing in through the nose, I want you to feel that rib cage expand laterally. So really feel the rib cage open up, feel the back get wide as we breathe in. And then as you exhale, it's an open mouth, soft jaw. And you want to push that air out so that you feel that work go all the way down into that low belly. So let's take 3 deep breaths like that. In through the nose, take in as much air as you can. Open mouth, soft jaw. Breathe out until you can't breathe out anymore. 2 more. All right, so from here, we're gonna take it into some side bends. So whatever position you're in, I want you just to bring your hands onto the floor. And what we wanna think about is our hips are our anchor point. So this part is anchored down. We're lifting our upper body away from that stabilized pelvis. So let's start with that left hand. I'm just gonna start to slide my left fingertips out as far as I can until I start to feel that right hip wanna lift. That's my cue to stop. I want to let that elbow soften and my head just drops towards that left shoulder. And I'm just going to pause there, really feel that stretch down the side of my neck into my shoulder. So make sure that that right shoulder isn't rolling forward, but it's really coming back. So you even feel some stretch across the front of the clavicle there. Good. And now let's just slide it back in. And then we're sliding over to the right. Same thing. That left arm is staying down as we just let our head tip over. So just kind of, we're gonna progress through this motion. And then slide back in. So now we'll start moving a little bit more with breath. So we're inhaling, exhale and pause. Inhale, slide in. Exhale, center. On each side like this. Beautiful. So now we're going to add to that. So like I said, we're doing a progression here. So now we're going to do that same breath pattern. So we're inhaling as we reach, exhale as we pause, and now holding there, I'm going to inhale, flip my right palm up, exhale as that arm reaches over. And then the only thing that moves is that right hand. I'm going to bring it back down by my side, my head's still heavy, and then slowly slide back up. So again, really deepening the stretch on the sides of the neck and those upper traps. So deep breath in, exhale over, letting that head tip. Inhale, the left palm flips up. Exhale as that arm reaches over. And just feel how the arm movement adds a little more to that stretch on the left side. So now we're gonna bring that hand back down, keeping your head heavy, and then slide back up. Good. Let's go one more to each side like this. shoulder rolls here. Rolling those shoulders up and back. Good. All right, and then before we come out of this, we're just gonna go into a big rotation. So I'm gonna take that right hand, place it on the outside of my left knee, top of my left thigh. And then I'm gonna take that left hand and just start to circle it back. Just gonna reach behind my body. Again, I wanna make sure that my sit bones stay anchored so my hips aren't rotating with me. As I start to find that spot where I'm anchoring, I'm gonna let the palm of my left hand press down. I'm gonna press into the palm of my right hand, use that to really lift, chin up, and then slowly take that gaze back over the left shoulder. And then release that. We're gonna do the same thing going to the other side. So taking that left hand to the top of your right thigh, right hand starts to slide back. Once you find that anchor point, press down into that palm, press into your left hand to create that lift, chin up, take the gaze back over that right shoulder, and hold. And back to center. Good. All right, so now bring the hands to the front of your knees. Do just a little flexion extension here. So I'm going to press into my palms as I inhale. Let the chest rise up, look up, and then as I exhale, I'm going to kind of bring my hands to the outside of my knees, press in as I C-curve. One more breath like that. Beautiful. Okay, so from there, we're gonna find a position where we can just extend our legs out. So again, if you feel like you are really tight in those hip flexors, you wanna still keep something underneath your hips so your hips are slightly elevated, you can do that. I'm gonna open my legs just a little bit. Arms reach out, and we're just gonna do a little spine stretch here. So taking a deep breath in. As you exhale, we're diving towards those toes, lengthening out through the crown of the head, drawing the belly back, and lift. Two more. Good. On that last one, we're just going to dive over and just reach out and grab onto your calves, onto your feet. Bringing that chin towards your chest. As we roll up, we're going to draw those heels in. And as the heels come in, I'm going to grab onto the front of my knees. I'm just going to do a little balance work here. So letting those feet rise up, shoulders roll back, neck is nice and long. As I take that gaze down towards my thighs, I'm going to take a little rock back and lift. So it's a controlled motion. We're trying to hold that C-curve throughout the movement, trying not to touch the toes as we rise up, but find that balance. Two more here. Last one. Good. All right, so we're gonna do another set of 5, this time adding a little leg reach. No jumpy. Don't roll on your dog. Hey, sir. Excuse me. All right, rock it back. As we come up, we're gonna pause, reach, knees bend, rock it back, lift, reach, drawing that belly button back. As those legs extend, we've got 2 more. Last one. Bring it in, roll back with control. All right, so as I hold here, I'm gonna grab behind my thighs And then just extend and bend. So extending the backs of my thighs. 3, 2. On that last one, I'm going to keep my legs straight. I'm going to start to let my left leg drop. Reach up and grab as close to that right ankle as you can. Elbows are wide, collarbones are wide. We're going to do a little 1, 2 pulse and switch. 1, 2. Just getting a nice little stretch in the back of the legs. We're working our abdominal some. One more on each side. And bring those knees in and let your body rest. All right. So I'm going to hold on to my right knee and just extend my left leg out. So I want to try to anchor down through that left heel. Try to open up the front of that left hip as much as I can. And then just interlace behind that right thigh. Just bend and extend on that right leg. 2. And then keep the legs straight and hold. Now I'm going to anchor my hands down by my side, letting those shoulders drop back and wide, collarbones wide. We're going to take it into a little leg circle here. So we're going to pull that leg across the body. So feeling that stretch on the outside of that right hip, circle it around and up. Twist, lift, 3, 2, and 1. Starting out away from the body, so legs over to the right, we're going to draw a circle down, around, and up. So we're trying to cross that midline, feeling that hip stretch as the leg sweeps around. Last 2. Last 1. Beautiful. Bring that knee in, and let's just pull it across the body. Back to center. So do the same thing here. Allow that right heel to slide out. Draw that left knee in. Let's bend and extend a couple times. And 5, pause. Anchor those hands down. Bring the leg across the body. Circle around and up. Really trying to think of anchoring the hip down as the leg pulls across the body. Last 2. Last 1. And then starting with that leg out to the left, right hip stays heavy. Bring the leg across and up. 2. 3. 4. And last one is 5. Beautiful. Bring that knee in. Pull it across the body, taking it into that little spiral stretch. Beautiful. Bring it all the way back into center. And then we're just going to turn onto our bellies here. As you come down onto your belly, I'm going to let those hips kind of open up. So I like to keep my legs a little bit wider, just because I tend to get really tight at my quads and in my hip flexors. So I just like to give it a little more space. You'll see some people, they work here. This just feels really bad on my lower back and on my hip flexors. So just find the space that feels good for your body. We're going to start with just this little gentle quad stretch. So I'm going to bend my right knee, reach back with my right hand and grab the top of my foot. Now the first thing I want to do is let my elbow kind of soften. I'm going to let my head come down and just pull that heel towards my hip as much as I can. Maybe feel that thigh lift off the mat just a little bit. That stretch goes all the way up the quad. And then from there, I'm going to start to push that foot into my hand, allow the arm to extend, and use that to lift. So now I'm bringing a little stretch into that right shoulder and into the right thigh, right hip flexor. Pause for 3, 2, 1. Release it back down. Let's do 2 more lifts like that. Press back into that hand. Let that right shoulder roll. Lift for 3, 2, 1. Release. Bring it down. One more time. 3, 2, 1. Let it go. All right, so from there, just let that leg extend out. So we're gonna do the same thing with the other side. So bending that left knee, reaching back with the left hand. Just gonna pull that heel towards my hip and pause. Maybe lift that left knee, left thigh off of the mat a little. Feel how that just shifts the stretch a little bit more. Good. Now I'm going to start to press back into the top of that left foot. Roll the left shoulder back. Lift. 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Good. And press. And lower. Beautiful. We got one more here. 3, 2, 1. All right, so let's keep that left foot in the hand. Right foot comes up. Forehead is lengthening down towards the mat. We're going to roll those shoulders back. And now from there, we're going to push the top of the feet into the hands. Roll the shoulders back. Collarbones are wide. And those thighs just kind of gently lift for 3, 2, 1. Release that. Reach. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2. Bring the hands down. Let the feet rest. Open those knees and sit back towards your heels. Beautiful. All right, guys. That is the end of today's workout. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you here tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock.